DK, what can I do to make sure when I send an email, the prospects actually enjoy it and reply back? This is a question I'm going to answer on today's episode. Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. On this episode, I want to talk to you about this idea of emails. I feel that there's three buckets that we should try to get that emails are in, and I'll tell you which one I feel is the best in order to make sure the email get better responses. If this is your first time listening to our podcast, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Please go ahead and subscribe and share it with someone else. And if you are enjoying the podcast and you have been for years, thank you so much. Please go ahead and tell others about the show. And I would appreciate you connected on LinkedIn. Drop me a message. Let's dive in and let's talk about it. When it comes to emails, right now, emails, the average customer and prospect that you're going after and I'm going after are probably getting anywhere from 100 to 200 emails per day. And that's not being, and that's not an understatement or not just trying to say this to I guess it could be an understatement, but I'm not just saying this to just be flippant with the matter. The prospects are getting a lot of emails, and the data has shown it's anywhere between that number. It's been up to over 100, 150, but the way that we are seeing an increase nowadays, that number could definitely be up into the 200s. And I'm counting not only their work email, but their personal emails, and then also emails that are going into the junk or spam folder. So there's a lot. You have internal communications. Like, for instance, I might send an email between me and the client and friend and team members, and that might be 5-6 emails. So there you go, 5-6 there. And you do this times 3. That's 15 emails to going through in one day. It becomes nauseating at times. So when you send a cold email to a prospect, what do you need to do to ensure that that email actually gets open? I've been playing with some emails, and I can't give you a definitive data yet, but there's 3 strategies, there's 3 buckets that I'm putting my emails in, or that I've noticed that emails fall into. Number 1 is the probing email. Number 2, relevant email. And then number 3, it's a referral. So let me define each of them. The probing email is, I don't know if you have a problem or not. I don't even know if you're an exact fit, but I do know that you are my ICP. You fall in a demographic, and I'm going to probe to see if you have interest. This is probably the weakest type of email out there. And this is where I feel most emails land. Most sellers, we don't have a crystal ball, so we can't necessarily tell exactly. We're using tools that can help us identify intent. However, when it comes down to it, we're still doing a lot of probing. Now, when we decide that we're not getting the best result from the probing, what we decide to do is to elevate or increase that the number of emails that we're sending out, because such a small percentage of people would say, yeah, I'm interested. So if I send 100 emails and I'm getting a 1% return, you can do the math. It's not that pretty. You're getting one reply off of that. Maybe, let's say you're being generous. I'm being generous with you. You're probably getting like a reply rate of 3%. So again, 3 emails is reply back, not that crazy. But you might say, well, I would need more replies, because I know if I have, for every 5 replies, let's keep it number simple. For every 3 replies I'm getting, 1 person would be interested. So now you might say, well, I'm going to send out 300 emails so I can get 3 people that are interested. But the thing that happens is that the way this game works now is that you're never, ever going to go back down to a lower number. You're going to keep the more we send out email, the more prospects get annoyed by those emails, and you get put in spam, or they simply just don't reply. So that return over time decreases. So you're, instead of getting that 100 emails and you get a 1% or 3% reply rate, maybe your reply rate dropped down to a 2%, because again of all the hundreds of email. And then think about it, when we are accentuates this with automation and with AI, it becomes even more annoying to the prospects. So we have so many more emails. So the probing emails become less and less effective. The only way that improves is if you keep probing we're going to send hundreds more or thousands more emails. Again, there are tools out there, but we just don't want to send garbage to prospects because that doesn't necessarily tie back to us getting a better reply. Is there benefit of probing? Yeah. I mean, again, if I don't know anything, that's at least that I'm going to do. But it's the lowest level of cold outreach that we're going to do. The second level is what I call relevant. So I still don't know you yet. I don't have a direct contact with you. However, based on certain behaviors, the message I'm sending is going to be a little bit more relevant. So let me give you an example of the first one, probing, and then we'll come back into the relevant. So a probing email may sound something like, many of the customers that we work with in the financial space are dealing with XYZ challenge. Is this something that you're facing right now? So I don't know per se, but I sound wishy-washy. So I'm really just trying to identify if there's a problem. Let's go into the relevant issue now. So now I look at specific triggers, and my relevant list is not going to be as big as my probing list. Perhaps I had, several hundred on my probing list because, again, I'm just shooting into the wind right now, right? Trying to figure stuff out with a shotgun approach. But when I come to the relevant, I am relevant there's two levels, relevant at scale and relevant a little bit more detail. Relevant at scale may be based on triggers that I might find a prospect might have. So let's say I'm reaching out to people who have HubSpot, for instance. And I know that people who have HubSpot, and you could probably find this through tools such as Sales Navigator. They have an amazing component that can help you to identify extensions, or there are companies, tools out there on the web where you can search and identify what kind of a tech stack an organization has. So you can identify these components. And let's say I'm making this up, so don't get mad at me, HubSpot. But let's say that I'm going after people with HubSpot, and usually they have an issue with their customer service portal. And I'm with Zendesk or something like that, and I can compete with HubSpot. I could identify the problem that I know that HubSpot users have when it comes to their customer service, and I can use Zendesk messaging towards that. So it may sound something like, Dave, I know HubSpot tend to be, and I'm not asking at this point, I'm speaking with confidence because I know they have it. Dave, I know HubSpot tend to have a little issue when it comes to tend to be a little more convoluted when it comes to their customer service portal. One of the biggest issue is blank and blank. I would love to show you how that can easily be fixed. Would you be open to learning more? Now, again, this is relevant because Dave is over customer support, and customer support is the one that faced this issue. And I know this because I work with other clients that have that same issue, and I'm using that at scale. And I can use that at scale because I can always just make a big list of relevant of HubSpot organizations that have a new customer service directors or existing customer service directors who and in a certain industry, and I can speak to that. Now my email sounds more relevant because it's tie into a trigger and tie into a specific problem that industry might have. I do that at scale. I can also do a little bit more relevant if I got more intel towards that particular thing. So perhaps I speak with a low-end person in the organization. Now this list of the more precise, relevant emails, it's not gonna be a huge list, but the outcome or percentage of the outcome would be greater. So your appointment setting and your conversation will be a lot better percentage-wise. So let's say I have on this list, I have 10 companies because I called in and I spoke with a low-end individual that complained about the service management feature in HubSpot. Again, HubSpot, I'm making this stuff up, so don't get mad. I love HubSpot, and they have a great service management tool, but just go along with me. But if that's the case, then I'm going to get some intel that I can utilize. The person that I get intel from, a low-end employee, an end user, they're probably not going to be the ones high on a totem pole to make a decision, but the insight that I get allows me to be more specific. So I can say something, this is where my email become relevant. So we know the HubSpot challenge, we know the customer service, we know we're reaching out to the director, and I know I got some intel, perhaps that they've lost customers, right? So now I'm making that relevancy even more so, and they're trying to improve that, their retention rate. So I might say, I know retention rate is something that Donald and Co. are really concerned about right now. HubSpot has some limitations on how they can go about, helping with customer support. We have a way that can fix that can reduce your churn rate from, drop it from, 10% and drop by 2 to 3 decimal points or percentage points. Would you be open to learning more about that? Or can I show that to you or one of your team members? Now, again, I know more intel, so I'm speaking directly towards their situation. And that's how I make an email relevant. That email tends to be better, or the relevant at scale tend to be better. Now, the third level email, this is like this is referral straight up. And that's where anyone would like to have it. And there's two sides of that: referral from an internal source or referral from an external source. Again, this number may not be as high, but you can do all three of these approaches as well. So my email at referral email may be from that internal person I spoke with, my relevancy, and I can say, maybe they gave me permission. I can say, Mary, I spoke with Lisa in marketing or the, in customer support team, and she mentioned this challenge. In my subject line, I'm going to put, Lisa told me to connect with you. Get permission from Lisa to do so. But this, again, it's a referral. And obviously, the next level referral with that, and in that email, I'll just be straight up with her. Like, spoke to, who am I, prospect? Spoke with Lisa, right? Or Mary, whoever. Spoke to the customer service support, mentioned that this was a challenge you guys are facing. I know you're coming in new into the role, and it's trying to fix challenges and to reduce the churn rate. We can help you to do so by anywhere from 3 to 4 percentage points. Would you be open to a call with me and you to be able to share this, or bring Lisa or Mary into it as well? Whatever. But the point, though, is that email is now way more relevant, and it's a referral, so there's a higher chance. And then the big top-notch level of referrals is if somebody refer you. So if I have a customer that use our solution, or I'm using LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and I'm able to go in and see people who've past customers that's been with us, and maybe they reconnect with them in their new company or whatnot, and they refer me to someone else in their organization, the new organization, that is a direct referral. Now ask, can you do an introduction? And then maybe Bob says, hey, hey, Jermaine, I want to introduce you to Donald. He and I worked at our last company, and I feel that he could really help us with our customer support. They help us lower the percentage points. We'd love to be able to do that. Now, that level of email is going to get a way better response rate from it. This is what we're playing with internally. But here's the thing: like, how do you go about doing this? You're probably thinking, well, I don't know how to start this, Donald. First, use Sales Navigator and look at some of your some of your contacts, your past customers, and see if you can get anyone that is connected with, customer service director. You can find this all in LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Look at your contacts and see. So you can put search for not communications, a customer service director, customer service reps, and then search from people in your network based on contacts you might have. And then you can find individuals and get referrals that way. If you did that once a week, you could probably get 3, 4, 5, 6 referrals. That's great. Your second level is that you're going to do the referral at scale. The relevant at scale. So you identify specific niche industry, niche challenges that they might be facing with a niche product, and you can do that as maybe you get 50, 60 people at that point. And then your top level, where you're doing a wider net, you're casting and you're probing. That probing email, you probably need to send a lot more individuals. When you're doing all of those together and you're doing phone calls in between, you cannot tell me that you're not going to get some opportunities. It's going to work tremendously. So again, the 3 levels are your probing, your relevant at scale, and relevant, precise, and then your referral and direct referral. I would love to hear your feelings on this. Go ahead and drop me a message on LinkedIn and let me know if you're trying these or if you're willing to experiment and test them out and see if what kind of results you get as well. As always, I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. I want you to be able to gain more opportunities. I want you to be successful in your role, because I didn't have that at first, and I'm grateful for tools and communities that helped me to do so. And I want you to thrive and succeed as well. I want you to raise your level of thinking. I want you to go out and do big things. See you on the next one.